I'm going to follow through each PowerPoint slide that I have in front of you and walk you through some of the thinking that I would like to kind of convey to you as to what has worked. This is not a lecture on career management theory. It's not a lecture on what will work in this job market. It's about what has worked. For myself, I have gone through 4 careers. This is my 5th career. And I have worked with over 4,000 clients, as Chani has said, since I started this version of this reincarnation, I call it, in 2001. And so everything that you see here is very much grounded in actual outcomes that I have seen, which I have codified over the years. And that's what I'm going to kind of present to you and hope that you understand the rationale and the power of it. Now, I have 2 websites. One is right on the front page, www.dilipsaraf.com. And on each of the slides after this cover page, there is setkeys.org. That's my companion website. And between those 2 websites, I think you'll get plenty of resources, free as well as otherwise. That'll help you pursue more of what I've said here in terms of more concrete articles, more concrete tips, tools, and so forth. So feel free to visit any one of those tools, websites, URLs, and I also have them at the end of the show, if you will, in the final slide. So if you can go to the first slide, Shani, we can. Okay, so the agenda that I want to plan to cover in this session is, first of all, talk about the scope and the audience of, what my message is going to be and whom is it going to be most impactful. And so I'll talk about that when we come to that slide, which is the next slide. Then change thinking. And this is probably one of my most pet peeves. What has happened in 2001 now, this is 8 years ago, the whole market shifted, the job market shifted, the concept around what job is and how to engage in a job dramatically shifted. And my lament is that despite that shift, people seeking jobs have not shifted their mindset. They still do the same resumes the same old way. They apply to the jobs the same way. And they pretty much go through as if nothing has changed. And that's probably the first lesson that you learn from it, how to shift your mindset to align with the shifting marketplace. And I'm going to spend a lot of time on that. The third is the inductive resume. I came up with this concept as a result of having done for myself different reinventions. And the concept is simply grounded in the fact that inductive logic is probably a good phrase that you can use versus deductive logic, where deductive logic, the deduction comes ironclad based on what you know and you derive from it. You cannot escape a deduction from a bunch of logical statements. Inductive logic, on the other hand, is going from the known to the unknown. And so what I'm going to present to you is it's much easier than most people realize to go from a realm where you know what needs to be done to a realm that you do not know. And reinvention is grounded in an inductive message, and how to create that message in a compelling way so that the reader believes it, even though you actually haven't done it. And I have 4,000 examples of that, but I will actually give you some of those during this discourse. The next part is managing your campaign. Most people do what I call a shotgun campaign. Once they have their resume, they shoot it out in kind of a fire and forget mode, or spray and pray, I call it. That doesn't work anymore. That stopped working in 2000, 2001, and people still continue to do that. They send their resume, sit by the phone, wondering why the phone doesn't ring, and they shouldn't be surprised that the phone doesn't ring with this spray and pray approach. And then I'm going to have a slide about managing your career. So this forum, this session is not just for those looking for jobs. It's not just for those who want to get out and get another job for themselves, but it's for anybody who is interested in managing their career. Now, the fact that you are attending this seminar tells me that you will not be out of work for too long. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to what I have to say and what Chani has to say. So with that, let's go to the next slide, Chani. Okay. So my expectation is that the cross-section of the audience listening to this is out of work and looking to get back into the workforce. It doesn't matter how long you've been out. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where you are geographically. This is a global phenomenon of unemployment, which is peaked out now at a very double digits. And in the second one is those who want to make a change because they've been there too long. They no longer see the job as something that excites them. Or third is if they are stuck in their job, but they like where they work. I mean, there are some great places where you end up where you feel stuck, but you love the company. So there are ways to get out of the job, stay in the same company, and find something more juicy and exciting. And I'm going to cover that, how to do that as well. The common complaint that people have, especially minorities and immigrants and some specific communities feel biased against, or they face the glass ceiling, and they have a reason why that is so for them. And it could be age, it could be gender, it could be culture, it could be any one of those things. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It does exist. But I think the perception of the extent to which it exists is grossly exaggerated by those who kind of complain about it. I think that you can easily neutralize that, and I'm going to talk about how to do that. I'm not going to get into specifics of equal opportunity and so forth, but I'm going to tell you that there is a single solid anchor that overcomes in your message, overcomes any one of these barriers. And I'm going to talk about what that is and how to kind of solidify that in your own verbal message. And then there is always the group of people who want to make a career change, not just a job change, but a career change. And what I found, I mean, the studies have shown over a number of years, actually decades, that 80% of the people who are working are looking for a job change, not a career change, but a job change. So there is 80% of the people who are working who are looking for a job. So those who are out of work think that their competitor is the person next in line, unemployment line. They are mistaken. It's the 80% of those who are working is what they are competing with, and the disadvantage they have is that they can wait forever to get a job and you can't. And I'm not trying to discourage you by saying this. I'm saying that for you to overcome that message, to overcome that kind of a, surmount that kind of a barrier or a possibility, you need a very strong message, a very differentiated message. And so part of what I want to say to you in this conversation to you is that regardless of whom you are competing against, you must have a message that stands above all. And it doesn't matter if they have a job or if they are, 20 years younger than you or bring 20 years experience that you don't bring. It really doesn't matter. So that's what I'm going to show you how to address. So with that, let's go to the next slide.